Well, hello, this is Rochelle, and thank you for joining me here on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel. Today I'm using the Faithfilled digitals for the devotional for September that is called Anchor of Hope, and I'm really enjoying this devotional by Andrea Lucado, and really just reading some of the things that she's saying. I realize that in these storms that we face, and when things aren't smooth sailing, we desperately need that anchor, and the way that we get that anchor is by spending time in the Word and hearing what God has to say about certain things. So I'm working in Hebrews 6, and I'm using some Americana DecoArt acrylic paints in my ESV Interleaved Bible. This Bible has a blank page next to each printed page, and so it gives you some space and some room to be able to go big in an elaborate painting like this. So I actually just really enjoyed spending the time in the Word and being creative and finding a way to put texture on this page, and all the while thinking that when we have that hope in Christ, it really is, it's an anchor for our souls. It is a firm foundation. It is something that keeps us strong when things are not so strong, or when it's tough. Art-wise, I'm just taking my paint, my brush, my brush, and adding some texture to this front piece and some lines, and I'm bringing the two kind of lines together in a wavy pattern, and then taking my brush and kind of dabbing it down onto that sand colored paint to give it some more texture and feel and movement. So the three colors I used is the midnight blue, the winter blue, and then this sand color. I've got these stencils by Celebrate, which is the local South African company, and I saw these swirls in the Faithfilled digitals, and I really wanted to kind of have something like that on my page, and so just creating a bit more movement using a sponge dauber and this stencil with the midnight blue paint to then give it some movement. I don't know, make it look like waves or storms or whatever, but just having that little bit of swirl on my page here. I'm also going to, well, I'm kind of just trying to figure out where and how to put this movement in. Like I said, I'm using a paint dauber or a dauber just to kind of give it that movement, not a definite line, but kind of spongy looking. And then I'm taking some white paint and I'm adding it to the edges of the water, if you want to call that that. And then while my brush is dry, I'm kind of dragging that white paint back into the sea so that it then looks like it's, you know, coming out of the sea, etc., etc. And then I'm taking that same white acrylic paint, adding a little bit of water to make some splatters with it, and then putting my fingers, yes, my fingers, I hate to get my fingers dirty, but putting my fingers into the paint and just kind of dabbing and giving it some more, texture by dabbing in certain places. Hopefully it looks like waves. I don't think it does, but that was the idea behind it. Next up, I'm using a starfish, very big starfish stencil, and I'm going to take some Stamperia Glamour paste. This is like a gold paste that I'm going to use through my stencil with a card to lay down these or this texture onto this page. And once that is dry, I cut up one of the journaling cards because I really wanted to have that sentiment around an anchor, and I didn't have a big enough anchor to have that sentiment around it. And so I cut up that journaling card that's got that anchor with the empty banner around it, and I'm just using my Pitt artist pen to write that in so that I have that same sentiment. My hope is found in you on this anchor. Next up, I'm going to take this washi strip and cut it just so that it fits onto the very right side of the page like under the writing, and then a little bit onto the sea, and that just adds more movement and texture to this page, and really like how it turned out in the end. Took my 2 tabs, stuck them together, added them to the top there, and then I'm taking this lantern because I read in the devotional that it is our, he lights the way, he anchors us firm and secure, and he lights the way, and that was very important for me. So I'm going to take these words, and because I don't have stickers for them, I'm going to scribble around them with my Indanthrine blue Pitt artist pen, and then like literally scribble and then cut outside the scribble, so it gives it that kind of frame and easier to cut, much easier to cut than to try and cut it straight or follow the natural curves of the word. I'm not very good at that, so just cutting it like this, and then once it is cut out, fussy cutting just around the outside border, and then I'm going to use that to spell out the sentiment. And this is something that I read in the devotional that says, when we hope in Jesus, we hope in something secure, we hope in something that anchors our souls, something sure, secure. Sorry, something secure. So it ends with secure, and the little washi strip also ends in the words firm and secure, and it just really moved me to understand that I need that anchor in my life, especially when things are not going the way that I want it to go. So when we then have something to hold on to, we also can give the world hope, because everybody is in need of hope at the moment. So that is it for my art page, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity and for having you watch it with me. And I do hope to see you again soon. Check out the other girls as well. Bye-bye.